time to embrace it. The Community Podcast, exploring the intricacies of personal growth, mental health, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Topics tailored for a global audience. Now, let's talk about it with your host, Bracy Goodwin.
Hey, good evening, everyone. How you doing? I hope everyone is doing well today. Thank you all for joining in. Those that are just tuning in, I want to thank you all for coming in and being a part of this here segment, Embrace the Community Podcast. I want to thank you all, honestly, each and every time I do a show. I want you to know how grateful I am that you do take the time to tune in and be a part of this. And I want you to share it, because like I said, we come on every Sunday night, except for if I'm out of town or something like that. And that's when we talk about this one here. I was out of town last weekend, didn't get a chance to schedule any type of show, but I just wanted to let you know, normally we are on every Sunday night. I come on about 6:00, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing for more than one reason or another. It's not because any fame, fortune, or anything like that. It's not because of that. It's just because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy impacting people's lives, transforming their lives, inspiring their lives, and also motivating their lives. And I'm telling you, the things that calls that I've received has let me know that I'm doing a good job, because like I said, it only takes one person to let me know that I'm doing okay and I'm doing a good job. And I hear about it a lot. They said, man, I love your podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I listen in. I may not get on when it's live, but I do tune in. And so I want to thank you all again for those that watch. And as you all know, I am an advocate for suicide prevention. And I talk about that all throughout my show's history and time. 988 Suicide Prevention Hotline. If you're not feeling loved or you don't like yourself, or you're feeling depressed and can't seem to get anything right to go right into your mind, hey, call this number, 988. It's a suicide crisis hotline number. It's available 24 hours a day, 365 days out of the year. It's in English and it's in Spanish as well. And it's free to you. The counseling is confidential. All right. So I want you to use that. And if you need it, let me know. I did have to share this number with somebody I got a phone call from, and I shared it with them. And just like I said, sometimes people don't remember it, and just to dial a simple number, 988. So spread the word, tell somebody, text it to somebody so that they will know that this is the number that they can call when they're just not feeling, period. They're not feeling anything about life. They're not liking their life. They're not loving their life. And life is just not have been good to them. So I want you to do me a favor and share, and I want you to let somebody know that they are loved and that they are cared for each and every day, because I do. I care for you. I love you because I love myself first, and I tell people that all the time. Also, if you want to support the Embrace the Community Podcast, I got to point in the right direction. You see that QR code up there in the top in the corner. Where I'm looking at, it's in the top left, it's in the top right. buymeacoffee.com/embrace it. You can go there and you can make a donation to the show. It helps support the show. Like I said, I don't get any monetary gifts or anything like that for what I do. It's only by the support of you and my own self. And God has been blessing me. God has just been keeping this show going, the monthly subscription to this and everything that I have to do, the time that I'm putting in for this and everything that I have to do to make sure that this show keeps going, because somebody likes it. I don't mind. I don't care if I don't get 1,000 followers or anything like that. I just care about the one soul that it does impact. And that's what makes a difference to me, when I'm impacting someone's life. And that's the whole idea. So buymeacoffee.com/embrace it community. Embrace it. Just put embrace it there, and you'll go in there. You'll see you can donate $2. You can donate $5, whatever you want to donate to it. You can do a monthly subscription. Got a family member that does a monthly subscription. I appreciate you, Lynn, in Brooklyn. Thank you for supporting the show monthly, because it does help. It does help me tremendously to do that. So I'll keep that up there so you can see it throughout the show. You can just screenshot the QR code there with your phone and donate and help us out here. Also, if you want to reach me by email, there's the Embrace It Community Podcast at gmail.com. That's how you can reach me if you want to just send an email, because everybody's not comfortable with getting online. But I want today, I want people to chime in today, because I got a really good topic to talk about, but I'm just getting this stuff here out the way that I want people to know that they can do and join in. All right. All right. So I hope everybody had a good week. I hope everyone has been thinking peace in your life. I hope that everyone has been proclaiming peace in your life, because guess what? I have. Okay. I have been doing it. And by doing so, a lot of things have been going right in my life. And so you can speak into your life. You can speak what you want in your life. That's something that you do. If you can do that every day, you can speak peace in your life every day. Okay. So start doing that like I do. I speak peace every morning. I wake up, this is going to be a peaceful day. So that's what I do for myself, man, just to get me going and make sure that I'm having a good day. So anyway, let's get going. Let's get this thing going here. Like I said, I had a great weekend last weekend, and I'm just trying to do something here. Great weekend last weekend. A lot of things took place over the weekend, and I got a lot of things done with some rest. So I want to welcome you back. And like I say, this is a place where we can talk about everything. So, but that's what I wanted to know. So something happened in my family last weekend. Recently, I would say last week, something took place that stopped me in my tracks. Something that was fully prepared. I was prepared for it, but something that happened made me fill my chest up, and what a kind of pride that I haven't felt that in a long time. And I'm gonna tell you about that while you're watching today. So my future son-in-law made a phone call to me a month ago, prior to this month. Yeah, about a month ago. And when I saw his number come across my phone, I said, "Oh my God, what's wrong? I hope something's not wrong." And he called and said, "Hey, how are you, sir? I just wanted to give you a call and talk to you." And he says to me, you know, we've been planning, and I told you I've been planning. I want to have a man-to-man conversation with you. And I just want you to know that I plan on proposing to Asia next month. And is there anything that you want to talk to me about? Is there anything you want to ask me? And so he pretty much was asking for my daughter's hand in marriage. So now I know some of you just title in your head, like, wait, people still do that? And that right there, that's exactly why we're having this conversation today. Because somewhere along the way, we stopped doing that. We stopped, and we need to talk about it and the why. And why we need to talk about it and what it still means to a man today. So go ahead, grab your coffee, grab your tea, pull up a chair today. If you're watching live, pull up a chair, and I want you to join in on the chat. I want those to join in on the chat. I'm going to be watching the chat too, as well as we're doing this conversation here. So this is a conversation I definitely want to have, and let's make sure that you chime in. I want you to chime in. I want to know how you feel. I want to know how you feel about this, like I said, because it was something that took me back. And we're talking about honor. We're talking about what honor means. We're talking about where did tradition go? Where did that go? We're talking about what it looks like when a young man is raised right. That's the whole thing. When a young man is raised right, these are the things that's supposed to take place. So let me paint the picture for you, because moments like this deserve to be heard and honored with detail. Okay. So this young man came to me on the phone call, like I said, and it wasn't through a DM. It wasn't, oh, by the way, your daughter, said to give you a call. Dad, we're engaged. Nothing like that. He came to me directly. And that's what I loved about it. He came to me directly. And I want to tell you, in this moment, something inside of me settled. You know that feeling when something lands exactly right? Okay. When something fits the right way it's supposed to, that's what I felt. I felt settled. I felt good. And here's why I kept thinking afterward. I can tell you by our conversation, I can tell this young man was raised right and who raised this man. I could tell you that his parents were all in him. I can see his parents all in him because that kind of character, that level of respect, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Okay. It wasn't planned. It was, well, he did plan it. It was modeled into him that these are the things that he needs to make sure that he does. It was reinforced. Okay. Somebody poured into that young man and said, this is how a man carries himself when he loves a woman and wants to honor her family. And that was it. Now, I learned this lesson a long time ago myself. I'll never forget it. One of my It was my very first girlfriend, and I wanted to take her to the movies. And my mother said to me, my father wasn't in the picture, but my mother said to me, "What you need to do, you need to call her father on the phone, and you need to ask his permission to take her to the movies." And I was like, and I didn't know it. Like I said, so this is something that you have to teach young men. And I picked up the phone and I said, to him, I said, would it be all right if I take your daughter to the movies? And he said, thank you for asking. Yes, you can. Okay. And his parents, like I said, this is it. If you ever hear this episode, and I hope you share it with somebody, his parents, if y'all are listening, I'm hoping they're tuning in if they're not tuning in, but I want you to know, I want you to know, thank you. That's what I want to tell you. I want to tell you thank you. The fruit of your parenting is showing you did something right. Okay. So I pulled it together and I said yes. And I told him that they had my blessings. That's what I wanted to make sure that he knew. He had my blessings. And I told him that anytime, he wanted to talk to me about my daughter, just give me a call and, let's have a conversation, because he may not understand everything about it, but they've been together a while. But still, I just opened up that doorway, and it felt right because he felt right. Now, let's get into the real conversation, because somebody's listening right now is wondering. They're definitely trying to figure out, and maybe you're a young man and maybe you're in a relationship and you've never even thought about this. You might be asking, is this still a thing? Believe it or not, it is. It's still something that people should do. This is still something that people need to take and seriously think about. Do I have to do this? Or should I do this? Can I do this? Because that's the whole thing. Doing something like this takes courage. Okay, this is not something that you can do. So let me tell you, yes, this is still a thing, because but it's very rare. We all know that it's very rare, and that's a rarity signal. That's fine. That's fine. So let's think about when and why this started disappearing. That was another thing. When did this stop? When did this all fade away? And when did things change? We can point to several shifts in our culture. We can look at that. All right. The rise of an individualism, that we can look at too. We live in a culture that has placed individual preferences at the center of everything. Okay. In many ways, that's not wrong. People should have autonomy over their lives. They should. Okay. But we've taken it so far out of the family. We left a lot of things out of what family is supposed to be and what we need to do in the family. So the equation is totally have shifted now. I believe marriage isn't just about two people, it's about two families. If you agree, let me know, in the chat, if you're tuning into this. It's not just about the two people, it's about the families that are now going to be becoming one because of the two people. And when you forget that, you lose something called foundation. If you forget all of this and don't think about this, you're losing the foundation. Okay? So there's a shift that took place in how we raise young men. We're not talking enough about honor. We're not talking about responsibility. All of these things are being left out. All right. and what it means to stand before a father and say, I love your daughter and I will care for her. That conversation requires courage. That's just not something that you can just do. Okay, if you think about the old movies of the man that told that told the man to get out of his house, and I'm going to get my shotgun if you shoot him, because he came correctly. But these are the things that require courage. It requires humility, and those things have to be taught. That's something that a young man will never know unless he's taught that. Okay. Boys don't automatically become men of character. They need fathers, they need uncles, they need coaches, they need mentors, and they need pastors who will model what honor looks like. That's what's needed. Okay. If nobody's modeled it, they don't exist. So we have to model that. This is something that we have to continue to model. We got to raise these young men right. We're losing a whole generation. That's another topic and conversation to have. There's a whole generation that is being lost. I'm watching it every day. They don't respect themselves. They don't respect their mother, their parents. Then they definitely don't, they won't respect your daughter. Um, yeah, that I'm trying to be cool about that. But I've had conversations with my children, and I'm telling you, I'm that father, and I'm still that father, and I was that father that if my daughters told me somebody was messing with them, I showed up. I showed up, and I'll never forget one time Asia was telling me that a little boy kept messing with her at school, and he just kept just antagonizing her. And I said, okay, all right. And I went up to the school and I got permission to go to the lunchroom. And they were standing in line, getting ready to get lunch. And the little boy just kept messing with her. And she was like elbowing him, stop, stop. And she looked over and saw me standing in the doorway. And she said, I told you my father was going to come. And he immediately stopped. He immediately stopped. That could be a sermon. Your father will show up just when you need him. But that right there was something that I wanted my girls to know, that I will show up. And I used to tell them, I said, if somebody took your pencil in school, I'm coming to the school. Okay. And there was another incident where another young lady was bullying her. And I picked her up from school one day and she said, Dad, this girl, big girl, bigger girl, pushed me and knocked my glasses off. And I said, well, where is she? So we're driving home at the time, and she saw the young lady. She said, there she is, right there. Pulled into the parking lot, and I waited. And when the girl came walking by, and I said, hey, let me ask you a question. Do you see that little girl right there? That's my daughter. Did you push her? Oh, I was sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, don't let it happen again. And I know I was out of line talking to this kid, but that's my child. You put your hands on my child, you're going to be met by the parents. Somebody will agree with me in this here chat. So, yeah, so that's what I had to do. I had to instill in that I was going to be that, and this is why we lose certain things if we don't continue to be there for our children. So we've also seen in a rise that the public proposal with no private conversation that happens. Okay, this is the thing that I just don't get: the Instagram moments, the flash mobs, the grand gesture, and the family finds out the same time the whole world on the internet does. And I I'm not for that, but it happens. Okay. So I'm not saying those moments can't be beautiful. I'm not saying that. But if you skip the conversation with her family before you pop the question to her, you may have missed something important. And I'm going to leave that right there. So be mindful of all of that, parents. Talk to your children, talk to your sons, and talk to your daughters what to expect and what this person should be doing, because Here's what asking parents does. This is what asking the parent does. It signals to the whole family that this man sees their daughter as someone connected to someone that loved and loves and protects them, not just someone he found himself. Okay. This is someone that loves their daughter. Okay, so that's what that means. So, yes, we have broken families now. We have the broken family structures. So now I want to be real with you. And I say this with compassion. Not everyone has a father to ask. I understand that. Not every family has that structure. And I get it. Some young men where they were never given that model for this. Okay. Some fathers were absent, difficult, or unsafe to approach. And I understand that. That's a conversation in itself. But where is a father, where father is present, where the father is present, and that's where the family is. The practice of asking does matter, and we should bring it back. That's my opinion. It needs to come back. Well, so let me tell you what it means beyond the surface of when a young man walks up to that woman's father and say, "I like your blessings to marry your daughter." This is what this means. First, here's the first thing. It says to the father, it says, "I see you." That's what it says to the father. This is what we feel when that happens. Okay. I acknowledge your role in her life. I'm not here to take her away. I'm here to be added to what you've already built. That's what it's telling us as men. Second, it says, I have done the inner work to recognize that my feelings alone are not enough. I have the maturity to know that love requires accountability. This is what we are getting from all of this. I don't know about you, but this is what I get when I see that. And I'm going to give myself some loves and heart on my own chat here because I'm just telling you this is what it means to me that it requires that type of accountability. So third, here's the third thing it does. It says that I am the kind of man who does things right even when it's uncomfortable because everybody's not comfortable doing this because that conversation is uncomfortable. Your legs might shake, your voice might crack, but a man with character, he does it anyway. And when I was talking to my future son-in-law, he was just saying to me over and over and over, "Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It came out great. Everything." And I kept saying, "Yes, yes, you did this thing. You did it. You did it." But I appreciate that. Thank you that he kept giving me. So let me see if there's any comments in here while I'm going on. Just want to make sure I don't miss any comments if anybody's chiming in here. But yeah, so that's what it's saying to me, and so I just want you to know that it means a lot to us. And like we said, it may not be a father figure in the house, but as long as you are conversating with somebody in the house before that happens, um, it means a lot. Now, warning. This is just a warning to you. If you can't get any of this conversation with the young man that's interested in your daughter, or what about the young woman that's interested in your son? Something's wrong. Something is wrong, right? But that's another conversation to have. And fourth, it says this. He says, I respect the woman. I'm promising to be enough to honor her family. That's what it means because she didn't grow up in a vacuum type of house. She was shaped by people who loved her before I arrived on the scene. And I'm going to acknowledge that. You know, she has a mother, she has a father, all right, she has a grandmother. These people loved her and raised her right. That kind of man I want around my daughter. That's who I want around my daughter. And he showed me that he was that man before he even put a ring on her finger because they've been together for a while. And in that while of time, I've got a chance to sit down and break bread with them on several occasions. I never forget the first time I sat down with him and I flew into yes, respect. Yes, it's the sign of respect. Thanks, Tiffany. Yeah, it when I first flew into Ohio to go meet him the very first time, and he told me he was so nervous. And that's the part. You're gonna be nervous. You should be nervous. You don't know if this thing is gonna go right or not. But just the simple fact that he was willing to meet and have that conversation. So that's that meant a lot to me. Now, like I said, I just try to stay on here for about 30 minutes, but this is a good conversation, and I'm just glad I got a chance to do this and have this. So, a word for the young men. Let me just talk to the young men too. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not bashing anyone. So now I want to talk directly to the young men listening. And if young men aren't listening, if you want to forward this to a young man, please do. Please do. Like I said, let them chime in and listen to what I'm saying, because these conversations are not had, or they're not having them on social media. Everything else is going on social media, but they're not having these conversations that mean a lot. And I pray, it's my prayer that this reaches and touches somebody and changes their way of thinking in their household, or even if it's a young man that's watching this. I pray that this changes you. So I want to talk directly to the young men listening, because if you're in a relationship and you think about marriage and you might be something like that in your future, this part is for you. I want to challenge you to do this. This is what I'm challenging young men to do. Not because it's a rule, and not because it's required, but because it's right. So this is why I'm challenging you, and because it will set the tone for everything that comes after that, with the family members and the father and anybody else that's raising this young man. If a father is present, if there's a father in the scene, go to him. And like I said, I know it might seem awkward, but please do go to him. I know it's old fashioned. Call it what you want, but I'm old fashioned. Go anyway. Pick up the phone if you have to. Request to sit down with him if that's possible. Listen, I don't care if the father's in jail and she loves her father enough to mention that he's incarcerated, but she loves him. Go make an appointment to go see him. That's how serious this is. Okay, request to sit down with him, look him in the eye, and tell him who you are, what you believe, and how you intend to love his daughter. That is what I'm challenging young men to do. If the father is not present, okay, if he's not in the picture, whoever is the authority figure in her life, whether it's her mother, a grandfather, grandmother, an uncle, a guardian who has poured into her, find them, go to them, all right, and have the conversation. Have the conversation. The principle is the same honor that people who come before you. It's the same thing. We all had to do you. And I tell you this, even if they say no, even if they say no, even if the relationship is complicated, the act of asking tells me something about who you are, and it tells her something too. Okay. So just because there's a no and the young lady is sitting right there for you, that shows her more of who you are than anything that you've done for her in the entire relationship. So, gentlemen, please be the man that a father is glad his daughter chooses. All right. I can't stress that enough. I don't need to go into anything else about the relationships before this and what I've seen and what I've had to go through. No, I'm talking about where we are today and what he has done today and what this young man has shown me. So start that legacy before they say I do. Okay. That is my message to the young man. Now I want to talk gently to the parents. And I hope the parents are listening, and I hope the parents will share this. All right. Thank you, Ricky, for the congratulations. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you tuning in. So to the parents, here we go. To the parents, let me say this to you as well. If a young man comes to you and he asks you for your child's hand in marriage, honor that courage that he did this. Just honor it. Okay. We just don't brush past it. Don't dismiss it. Don't treat it like it's a formality to check off a list. Receive it for what it is. A man stepping up and doing something like this, the world has a larger demand on him, and this part has been abandoned. So acknowledge it. Just let him know that he's doing all right. So have a conversation. Ask him to tell. Ask him these questions. Ask him to tell you what you want to hear. Ask those questions, but also be willing to be moved. All right. Be willing to see God's hand and who your child has chosen. Be open for that. So you got to open up your ear gate, your eye gate, your mind. You have to be willing to just don't jump to conclusions. Just, why did my child choose this man? Because sometimes the best thing you can do is get out of the way and trust that you raised them well enough to make good choices. Sometimes you're going to have to do that. And trust me, I had to do that with this one because things that they were doing, I didn't agree to. But I had to move out the way and trust God that this is going to go in the way it's supposed to go. That's what we're supposed to do. You will push the kids away if you continue to just point the finger and say, you ain't this and you ain't that. You know better. God is going to get you. You're going to hell. Watch out. You're burning in the bush. Stop. 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 Just stop. Stop all of that. That's not what we're here for, because God didn't do that to you. Remember, you snuck and did your thing too when you was young. All right. So you got to forget you was once their age too. So stop all of that. So I said it. I said that today, and I said that with my whole chest out. Yes, I can see his parents in him, and I'm so glad and I'm grateful for that. Family, I want to close with this today. All right. This is what I want to do. The things we stop practicing, we eventually stop valuing. Okay. And if we stop valuing these things, we're going to lose. So we have to value all of these things. Honor is not an old-fashioned concept. It is an internal one. And the traditions that reflect it, okay, there are traditions that reflect this, and it was a reason why it was done. Like a son-in-law walking through your door to ask you for your daughter's hand are worth keeping. This is something that I'll never forget. And this is worth modeling. It's worth teaching the next generation on what they should be doing. So, to my future son-in-law, I see you, young man. I see you. I appreciate you. And I've been telling you this before you even proposed. I said to you, man, I love you, because I wanted to start pouring love into him. And I'm proud of you. So I want to say on my show tonight, welcome to this family. You didn't have to do what you did, but you did because you were able to do it. And I appreciate that. I know exactly the kind of man my daughter is gaining. All right. And to everyone that is listening here, hey, listen. This may not be your story. This may not go the same way it's gone. And I get that. We're blessed to have this, and you may not be blessed to have that. But there's nothing wrong with having that conversation with your daughter. There's nothing wrong with having that conversation with the young man. Like I said, it doesn't have to come from the father. It's nice that it can. It's good that it can, but it doesn't always have to. But if you can, have that conversation, because like I said, he may not have ever been taught. He may not have never known what to do and how to do and what it really means to you. So have that conversation. So to everyone that is listening, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this community, the Embrace It Community Podcast. I promise you, the stuff that I'm going to bring you is not the gossip, the 411, or what's going on in somebody's church or what's going on in somebody's life that think they're a star, but there's only one star, and his name is Jesus Christ. And I will tell you that every time I get on my show. That's the only star I look to the hills to see. I don't look to see nothing else. Learn how to move in silence. I tell that all the time. Tell people, just learn how to move in silence with your life. So if this episode meant something to you, share it, please. Share it. All right. Tag it. Tag a parent. Send it to a parent. I challenge you to send it to a parent. Just send it to them and let them listen in. Tag a young man. Okay. Tag a young man. Tag someone who needs to hear it, who you really think needs to hear it. I didn't always know this stuff, but yeah, I did, because my mother taught me at 16 years old. So I did know it. And I did it. I did it, whether I was liked or I wasn't liked. Because there were some times I wasn't liked. I wasn't always liked. So, real talk. But that happens. So, but anyway, thank y'all for joining in. Thank y'all for joining in the Embrace It Community Pack, the podcast here. All right. We don't run from the hard stuff here on the Embrace It Community Podcast. We embrace it. All right. This is what I do. This is what I'm built for. Tough skin, broad shoulders. All right. So thank you again for joining in. Until next Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. if you are on the East Coast. Walk in purpose. Lead with honor and love your people well. I love you because God loves me and I love myself. But I couldn't love you if I didn't love myself. All right. So until then, next time, God bless. I'm going to put the information up again about the buy me a coffee. I'll leave it up for a minute. But like I said, if you enjoyed this show, chime in. I got some comments here. Thank you. Tiffany, thank you for honor is important. I want to touch on that. Giselle, thank you. Thank you for the congratulations and my new son-in-law, my new son in love, and my daughter's happiness. I appreciate it though. It means a lot. I've been smiling ever since I got back last week, and I'm going to continue to smile. Even in the good and the bad times, I'm going to continue to smile because I realize that God's got them. You know, all I got to do is send up the prayer and that's it, and leave it alone. You know, and that's what we need to do, and stay out of their business. Stay out when they have those rough times when they get married. You know, you're all sitting there watching them take the vows. It's okay. If they start talking about it, bringing it home, don't talk about this. Take this home to your husband. Take it home to your wife. Don't entertain it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I wish I would have known that years ago, but I know it now. Okay. But thank you again for watching. I appreciate you all. You all are wonderful, and thank you so much for watching. I'm going to put this information back up that I want you to see about how you can buy me a coffee at Embrace It. So buymeacoffee.com at Embrace It. All right, do that. Follow us. That's scrolling down on the bottom. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, drop me an email as well. You can send me an email at embraceitcommunitypodcast@gmail.com. But I appreciate you all. All right. Until next time, God bless. Appreciate you all. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Embrace It, the Community Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Follow the Community Podcast page on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Please like and share the podcast with your community circle.